fuck is that headline all about?
Yeah.
Yep,
She is the worst fucking basketball.
When Caitlin Clark moved to Europe, Angel Reese immediately shut down the rumors, revealing that Clark's exit was driven by financial considerations. However, Reese didn't stop there. She took the spotlight herself, seizing the moment to criticize Clark in a way that shocked the WNBA. Many observers were stunned, noting that someone so embroiled in her own controversies would publicly disparage another player, suggesting that athletes are motivated solely by money and even framing the discussion around race for sympathy. The confrontation created a tense, headline-grabbing moment that combined personal attacks, league drama, and heated debate over motivations and ethics in women's basketball.
People talk about Caitlin getting hate, but someone sat down and spent hours putting together an 8-minute video with interlude clips all to trash Angel. Why?
But when the entitled complaints are coming from Angel Reese, it makes news throughout the mainstream media.
It's clear that Angel Reese was directing her comments at Caitlin Clark. What's striking is that Clark has never made any negative remarks about Reese or any other black player, yet Reese's accusations created tension nonetheless. Clark's move to Europe isn't simply about exploring a new opportunity. It's a deliberate step to distance herself from the increasingly toxic environment of the WNBA. While the league might appear like a dream for a player built to dominate, the reality had grown complicated, with scandals, distractions, and subtle pressures making it more challenging than expected. Clark's decision shows that she isn't just playing basketball, she's strategically avoiding controversies and the sideways scrutiny that has become part of the game.
Titled players in the WNBA just can't seem to understand is, you get what you put in, and right now, you are getting exactly what you deserve.
And why? Meanwhile, as others, including some of her own teammates and prominent media figures, tried to paint Caitlin Clark as a villain and even accused her of racism, Clark remained composed. She never took the bait or wasted time responding to baseless claims. Instead, she stayed focused on what truly mattered, basketball. Yet despite her calm and professionalism, the storm around her kept escalating, intensifying like a drama-filled reality show that refused to let her escape the headlines.
So I think it's really just the fans, her fans, the Iowa fans, now the Indiana fans.
Then Alyssa Thomas, clearly not one to stay neutral, escalated the situation by publicly accusing Caitlin Clark of being responsible for racist remarks made by her own followers. Yes, you read that right. Thomas claimed that Clark somehow controlled the words and actions of spectators, holding her accountable for things entirely beyond her control.
I think in my 11-year career, I've never experienced the racial comments from the Indiana Fever fan base.
Ridiculous, but true. Alyssa Thomas was simply trying to deflect attention from her own issues, channeling her anger, envy, and whatever personal frustrations she had into a neatly packaged accusation aimed squarely at Caitlin Clark. It had nothing to do with anything Clark actually did or said. It was entirely manufactured.
And she had a press conference where she cried and everybody's so mean to me. Well, she's continued the stupidity. I mean, she cheered on her teammate as she shoved Caitlin Clark, knocked Caitlin Clark in the head, and a bunch of other stupid stuff.
Caitlin Clark didn't have to do anything wrong to become a target. The sheer admiration she received from fans, combined with her name dominating highlight reels and headlines, was enough to ignite jealousy within the WNBA. And it wasn't just random internet trolls fueling the fire. Some of the players sharing the court with her struggled to handle her success and, instead of supporting it, allowed envy to overshadow the celebration of her greatness.
Honestly. And there's no place for it. And we've been professional throughout the whole entire thing, but I've never been called the things that I've been called on social media, and there's no place for it.
Angel Reese certainly had her moment in the spotlight, but it was clear she was uneasy with Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise. As a rookie, Reese was grabbing attention, but instead of channeling that energy into improving her own game, jealousy dictated her actions. Suddenly, everything Clark did was scrutinized, feeding the toxic environment Clark had endured. That's part of why Europe became such an appealing escape for Clark, not just for a new league or vibe, but to breathe air free from the WNBA's drama, petty accusations, and envy. Clark recognized that the toxicity had little to do with basketball and refused to waste another moment in it. While her detractors, including Reese, stirred controversy, Clark stayed focused on what she does best, letting her performance on the court speak louder than any noise. Her move to Europe was a statement. She didn't need to endure nonsense fueled by jealousy. Meanwhile, Reese framed Clark's departure as a financial choice, claiming it was all about money rather than acknowledging the WNBA's toxic environment. Rather than owning up to her own issues, including her past steroid scandal, Reese chose to drag Clark into the controversy, deflecting from her own challenges. When you're that deep in personal controversy, it's far easier to point fingers than to confront your own baggage.
Who gives a rat's ass?
She went further, claiming that every WNBA player, including Clark, was only in the league for the money. The hypocrisy is striking, given that Reese's own career faced scrutiny after she was caught using performance-enhancing substances. It's a textbook case of deflection. Drowning in her own scandal, she tossed accusations like confetti, attempting to shift the focus away from her own controversies and onto others.
No, it's going to Caitlin Clark fans are mean. And if Caitlin Clark fans are mean and they're white, where does this head? Oh, you know it goes to racist.
It's important to keep the timeline in mind. By the time Caitlin Clark was preparing for her move to Europe, the WNBA season was nearly over, and she had already endured weeks of public scrutiny over Angel Reese's steroid suspension, with the press dragging her name through the mud. Clark's European move was widely reported in mid-October 2024. Meanwhile, Reese had already been in the headlines for all the wrong reasons: steroids, EPO, anabolic substances, and her reputation had suffered immensely.
Now they found another victim, the fans of Indiana. Now, I'm going to side a little bit with these idiots.
It's almost comical how Angel Reese is trying to paint Caitlin Clark as the greedy one. The sports world isn't buying it. Analysts from Stephen A. Smith to Patrick Bet-David have openly mocked Reese for her blatant hypocrisy, pointing out that she's attempting to deflect attention from her own steroid scandal by attacking Clark and the public. Facing rumors of a potential lifetime ban, legal threats from the Chicago Sky, and a career teetering on the edge, Reese still has the audacity to accuse Clark of making shady moves.
Herself. Attention, her notoriety is based off Caitlin Clark. Because she wins the national title, first thing she does, she mocks Caitlin Clark. And then she doesn't even celebrate with her teammates. So she's made it personal with Caitlin Clark.
Zooming out to see the bigger picture, the WNBA world was rocked when it was revealed that Angel Reese had tested positive for performance-enhancing substances in early September 2024. Her coach, Teresa Weatherspoon, was fired for allegedly enabling her, and the Chicago Sky even threatened legal action. During this turmoil, Caitlin Clark continued focusing on her career, navigating her own challenges without drama. Reese's downfall didn't begin with Clark's European move. Rather, it stemmed from her own scandals. It's clear that Reese's envy over Clark's success fueled much of the attacks, and the timing of her criticisms was far from coincidental. As Reese's career unraveled, the more she targeted Clark, the worse her own situation became, highlighting that the drama was largely self-inflicted.
Angel Reese. So she's sort of embraced a Draymond Green role here. But the eyeballs on the WNBA really have to do with Caitlin Clark.
Last night, Angel Reese kept the drama alive by getting ejected, and it almost felt like the whole thing was scripted. The WNBA couldn't have asked for better buzz. She's the center of attention, standing in front of reporters and declaring, "I need all you guys to realize there's two of us that changed the game of women's basketball." But it's not just about Caitlin Clark. Reese herself was once a record-breaking sensation, hailed as the next big star. Those glory days now feel like a lifetime ago, as she's become more notorious for getting caught using steroids than for her on-court achievements. It's the kind of petty, small-time drama that's hard to watch, seeing a player who once inspired so many now wrapped up in controversy.
I think that some of this drama, and she started some of it to be
all of that. It's real. We want to act like, well, let's not focus on that. Let's just march forward and let's just move forward. Well, guess what? You can't move forward when you're ignoring the past.
Angel
The villain, Caitlin Clark, is the hero. And Angel Reese continued to play into it last night by getting ejected. And it's almost like it's all scripted. This is perfect for the WNBA. She's all the talk. She's the one standing up there in front of reporters saying, I need all of you guys to realize there's two of us that changed the game of women's basketball. And it's not just Caitlin Clark. I was a part of that.